Good afternoon guys from London, and you can probably tell from the building behind me that, you guessed it, I'm back on the coach. National Express up to Birmingham and then home to Shrewsbury. Let's go. Now, it's such an iconic building, Victoria Coach Station, isn't it? Yeah, what had actually happened was that trains on the West Coast Mainline were going to be affected by engineering work. So I just thought I'd take potential disruption out of the equation and just get on the coach. The thinking was, once I was on it, I could just relax, regardless of how long it was going to take, read a book or something, and just get off at the other end, reasonably relaxed and happy. The coach was leaving from stand 18 today, and whilst it looked like it was really busy, it turned out a lot of these people were heading for other cities such as Bristol and Manchester at around about the same time. Now it was soon time to board the coach, which for today's journey would be a very smart looking Volvo B11RT Caetano Levante 3 apparently. As usual, the driver, who was a very friendly chap named Craig, checked the tickets and loaded the bags in the large luggage compartment below. Oh, hey mate. All the way to Shrewsbury please, sir.
Okay, lovely, thank you.
Cheers. I got on board, seating was in the expected 2-2 configuration, and first impressions were, really smart. It looked and felt pretty much brand new, I thought. It was a sit anywhere kind of situation, so I found a seat on the right hand side facing ahead and settled in for the journey. We left on time, and I think the coach was probably about 75% full. At the very last minute, a group of 20 odd people got on. Otherwise, I reckon there would have been plenty of space. Now, as it was, I managed just to retain a spare seat next to me, which was a big relief. I had the opportunity to reserve one of the seats for an extra £2, but I'm not sure these seats were actually reserved at all for this journey. And as I said, everyone seemed to basically sit where they wanted to. But as it was, I was pretty settled. The seat was comfortable, as was the seatbelt. This journey was going to take approximately 3 hours and 15 minutes to get to Birmingham, and then a further 1 hour and 20 minutes to get me home to Shrewsbury. Anyway, let's enjoy some footage of central London as we make our way past lots of other coaches and head out west towards the M40 and beyond. Right, so the interior of the coach, I would say, was really smart. Nice big windows with curtains you can pull across at night, and you've got ample overhead storage space here above the seats on both sides, with integrated individual air vents and reading lights. Some nice blue LEDs as well, which I think it added to the sense of both calmness and comfort. There was seat-backed USB connectivity, beneath which was a small drop-down table with built-in cup holders. Importantly, the table was strong and stable enough to support my iPad, which was a godsend on a journey of this length. A pouch was also available to store bits and pieces, drinks, bottles, etc. And yeah, plenty of legroom in these seats, as you can see here. And the floor, which was a kind of laminated wood style effect, was clean with no obstructions under the seats in front. And as you can see, the seats themselves are in a dark grey colour, and yeah, I have to say, they were comfortable for the duration of the journey. The seatbelt wasn't overly tight, and I had absolutely no issues at all by the end of the trip. I had a go at trying to get the Wi-Fi to work, but unfortunately it wasn't connecting. Now, this is a bit of a recurring theme on my coach journey so far, and yeah, I've pretty much given up trying, to be honest, and just end up relying on a strong 4G connection instead. Anyway, let's get back to the journey, and whilst the M25 had been pretty busy, we were slightly ahead of schedule by the time we reached the outskirts of Birmingham. It had become a little chilly on board, but the driver recognised this and put the heating on, which really helped. Now, our route today took us past Birmingham Airport and the old terminal building, which is great to see. Traffic was a bit snarled up the closer we got to the city centre, but nevertheless, we actually arrived into Digbeth coach station 6 minutes early. Now, I guess National Express factors in potential congestion in their journey times, and it's always good to under-promise and over-deliver, isn't it? There is a driver change at Birmingham, so it was a welcome chance to stretch our legs. We got about 20 minutes whilst the drivers helped with luggage and talked to the passengers. Now, I'm going to say now that both these drivers were a great credit to the company. They were really professional, approachable, helpful, and actually looked like they enjoyed their job, which counts for a lot for me in terms of the actual customer experience, and it's also a major factor in whether I enjoy the journey or not. So at 16:15 we depart, reversing out of the bay, and then driving past another iconic building, the fantastic Birmingham Moore Street station, before heading down the Aston Expressway towards the M6. Next stop, Telford.
Telford.
17:04 and we arrive at Telford, again 6 minutes early. Lots of people got off here, which I was surprised at for some reason. We don't stop for long, and then we're soon back out onto the M54, heading for my final destination, Shrewsbury. Now guys, I was hoping I could take a few seconds of your time to talk about my Ko-fi page, as I'm basically hoping to get a few more members joining up. It's a great way to support the channel, and I do loads of exclusive stuff over there, like sending out regular email updates, postcards, and you can get your name featured on my videos like these lucky people here. And a membership starts at just £1 a month, and well, if you like my stuff you can send me a tip. It really helps me to make more videos like this, as 100% of the money I can guarantee you goes straight back into booking more trips. And there's a link in the video description below, and yeah, I would really appreciate any support you could give. Thank you very much. Anyway, on to the highlight of any of my videos, which you've all been waiting for, I'm sure. It's the toilet review. Located right at the back of the coach, you will find the toilets, accessed via the sliding door with a latch lock as shown here. There was a toilet occupied indicator at the front of the coach, which was useful, and I thought it was a reasonable size really, and fairly clean considering we'd been on the road now for over 4 hours by this point. And opposite the toilet is a sink with soap and hand dryer above. Now unfortunately there was no soap or hand sanitizer to be found, so that is one negative aspect to report. The tap has cold running water at the push of a button, and hand dryer worked as expected. Now, some idiot had decided to try and squeeze a plastic drinks container into the bin, but you can't really legislate for people like that, can you? To the right of the sink was a large mirror with a sticker asking you to use hand sanitizer, which unfortunately was impossible on this trip. Now, fortunately I always carry my own these days anyway. Well, back at my seat, I was thinking about value for money, and all in all, I think it compares reasonably well with the train for this specific journey. You can get a ticket from London to Birmingham with National Express for £4.90 if you book it around 3 weeks in advance. Yeah, it can take over 3 hours, but if you're not in any rush, well, that's not bad value, is it? I paid £14.40 to get me all the way home to Shrewsbury, which again is pretty reasonable compared to the train. And I reckon I could get the slow train maybe slightly cheaper if I really wanted to. But it probably wouldn't be far off time-wise, and I think the coach is a little bit more comfortable. We pulled into Raven Meadows bus station in Shrewsbury at exactly 17:35. This coach carries on all the way to Aberystwyth after calling at Shrewsbury, which for some people means a gruelling 7-hour journey. Like I said though, if you've got a good book and plenty of food, you'll be alright. You can find advance fares for less than £10 from London to Aberystwyth, and you really can't go wrong for that, can you? Okay guys, that was London Victoria coach station to Shrewsbury Raven Meadows bus station. Yeah, I must admit I was feeling a bit jaded by the end, but yeah, 4 hours and 35 minutes, bang on time to the minute, so fair dues, you cannot argue with that, can you? I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching, and until the next time guys, cheers for now. I'm gonna get a drink. Whew.